Yesterday, after a very important economic data has come out from the US, we first of all saw here a massive move here on Bitcoin to the upside. Just a few moments later, a heavy correction here on the chart. But what is happening here right now? Will we potentially see a button structure, or will we see one more leg to the downside? That's why today update, I want to break down the exact price levels here for Bitcoin. And I also want to talk about my trade position. It's kind of open since $110,400. Will I close the position, or will the position still running here to the upside? And remember, while Bitcoin is here struggling and find here some strengths here to the upside, the S&P 500 and also gold hits a new all-time high. So here's a big divergence also showing here in the market, where we definitely have to pay attention. But before we dive directly in the charts, make sure to watch the video until the very end. Hit up this like button, also subscribe to the channel, and let's jump directly into content. But before we dive into chart analysis, let's talk quickly about yesterday's economic data, because these have a major impact here on the traditional market and even also on Bitcoin. So the US job numbers came out a little bit more weaker than expected. Only 22,000 new jobs created versus 75,000 expected. The unemployment rose up to 4.3%. As the results, the rate cuts came on 17th of September. Now fully priced in. There's also even 11% possibility of a double rate cut. But let's go back here into the Bitcoin chart and zoom a little bit out. First of all, we go here directly in our 4-hourly chart. As we know already, we are here still on our falling. We are still on the way in our rising wedge here. As we discussed it also yesterday, kind of in the middle of September, we potentially see here a breakout. We are forming here no lower low, which is kind of bullish here, even also for Bitcoin. Even yesterday, when we're going here in the 15-minute chart to see it a little bit more closer, we saw a massive pump here on Bitcoin to the upside. So as the data came out, and then the massive correction here to the downside, looks more like a liquidity grab, especially when we have a quick look on the liquidation heat map. We can clearly see we build it all the way. We can clearly see we cleared all the liquidity on top of us, and especially when we're going to the 48 hours chart, we can see we cleared a lot of liquidity here to the downside. So it seems like this move was just a liquidity grab. So it seems like this move was just a liquidity grab. We even also hold our very important support lines over there. So we're making here higher lows. Even also here is a low, here's a higher low, here's a higher low, here's a higher low, even also here is a higher low. And now we can also adjust our rising wedge here to the upside a little bit more, so to make it a little bit more accurate. But this rising wedge here, especially on the 14-minute chart, means as soon we're breaking here to the downside, expect a move one more time to the downside at $107,500. And these $107,000 is also in alignment with the liquidations. When we can see here a little bit more clear, there's a lot of liquidity also building up here around 107,000, 109,000, and also here $106,000. So there could be one potential move here to the downside before we going here into next higher levels. As we can see here, there is a lot of liquidity sitting down on top of us at the $114,000. And we already talked about this level. 114,000 is the level we definitely have to break here to see here more continuation on Bitcoin, because this is a very critical and crucial level. Yesterday we came straight directly into the level of $114,000, got rejected there and moved to the downside. So it's very important for us holding here this level here on the 15-minute chart to see more continuation here to the upside. But especially when we're going here to the 4-hourly chart back, we can see we are holding still our structure. Even also here we're forming something like an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So here and also here, and as soon we're breaking the neckline here to the upside, expect here a massive move on Bitcoin in direction of $120,000. So price target of it would be exactly, if you're breaking here the right shoulder to the upside, is here price target of $120,000, and there's also the next trade coming in. So as soon we're breaking our neckline here to the upside, this is the moment where you can position in your new trade position. My trade position is here still running. I trade here all my trade on BitUnix. If you don't have an account yet on BitUnix, just go in the video description. There you'll find a link directly to the exchange. You can even also claim their deposit bonus, 20% deposit bonus for you. Also, you get an instant sign up bonus, so definitely check out the link in the video description. But let's go here back to Bitcoin. So what are the next key zones here for Bitcoin, especially here on the 15-minute chart? Assume we are not breaking this low here around $109,200. We are still in our uptrend, are still fine. So this is also what I'm expecting here right now. If we are pull some indicators now to the charts, we can also clear. We are still fighting with our 50 moving average here. Kind of got rejected yesterday of the 50 moving average on the daily side. So now fighting here with the 250 moving average. Assume we are able to flip the 50 moving average again to the upside. Expect also more continuation here to the upside. Even the same belongs to the 1 hourly chart. Also on the 1 hourly chart, we are sitting here kind of down below our 50 moving average. It's nothing bad at all, because assume we're getting here this one more move here around to $111,200 to the upside. We should also flip our 50 moving average to the upside, and as long we are trading above our 50 moving average, there's nothing about to worry. On the daily chart, it looks kind of different. So here we already got massive rejection of the 50 moving average to the downside. But as long we are not going lower than $109,000, we are still fine also on the daily chart. So nothing about to worry also here. Very important, especially for the daily candle right now. So close it like at least as it is. Even also a little bit higher than we should be already fine. But keep one thing in mind. At one time, we are losing here our support line here now to the downside. The 200 moving average is here still in the card. $103,000, the kind of level we are talking about on this channel many times, would be in a card if we are getting more continuation to the downside. So what I'm doing right now, I just leave my trade still open. If you are not in a long position right now, just position yourself, assume we're breaking the key levels. But otherwise, we are in a kind of like a no man's land. So we have liquidity sitting on top of us, starting at $114,000 till $120,000. But we have also liquidity sitting down below at 107, till $104,000. So what I see here for Bitcoin right now, I want to definitely see here Bitcoin reclaiming here $114,000, even also break the level, especially on the daily chart or on the 4 hourly chart with some more volume, and assume we're breaking here the 50 moving average even also on the daily chart. So then I will also increase my position here on Bitfinex. Even if we are falling a little bit lower, I would also increase my position here, because as long we are not building here lower lows, we are still here in an uptrend for Bitcoin. For now, I will keep my position as it is right now. As soon I get updates for you, I will also inform you here, even on the channel or also in my Telegram group. Otherwise, it's just time to wait here a little bit until Bitcoin is here getting the final move here to the upside. Main liquidity is sitting here to the upside, so I expect here more continuation to the upside. Even also the S&P 500 made a new all-time high, gold is making a new all-time high, and I also expect here Bitcoin making in the next couple of weeks the next all-time high. And that's also the breakdown for today. So yesterday the US data came out and crashed a little bit more volatility in the market, as we also expected. But there also are confirmed rate cuts for the next meeting, and also Bitcoin is also showing here a sign of a bottom, but we are also not completely out of our trap zone yet. So I keep you updated here on this trading setup as my trade is here performing. Drop a comment down below if you are more on the bullish or on the bearish side, or just sitting on the sideline and waiting for the next trade entry. I would love to hear your thoughts. Otherwise, don't forget to hit up the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and then we see in the next update tomorrow.